Let's get started.
Welcome to the Financial Purpose Podcast. All opinions expressed by me or guests of the podcast are solely our own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Life Moves Wealth Management. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for any investment decisions. Clients of Life Moves Wealth Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. Welcome back to the Financial Purpose Podcast. I am your host, Dale Shafer. This is episode 96. And I'm going to jump right in. We have all been there. A big prospect or your favorite client asks for just a little break on the price of something that you're working on or a service that you're offering or a product. And a deal on the table feels so close that just a little tiny discount isn't going to make a big difference. It feels so close. It makes you feel kind of uneasy in your stomach. And it's like somebody's asking for an exception and you're not sure what kind of precedent it's going to set, or if it's just going to be a one-time thing, or if it's going to be an every-time thing. And you think, well, maybe just this once. And that just this once is exactly how cracks form in the foundation of your business. So today I'm breaking down 5 areas you simply can't afford to waver. It's a slippery slope when you do, so we're going to talk about 5 ways to stick to your guns in business. So here we go. The number one, first way to stick to your guns in business is your pricing. Now, you set your pricing for a reason. And early in my career, my very first professional role, I was a loan officer in a regional mortgage company. I was 21 years old. I didn't know anything about anything. And I almost did the what was the show? It was the Ozarks. I almost did I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to swear on the podcast, but my branch manager at the time, I was learning all about how to talk about fees and pricing and things like that. And we had this one customer that I had put together just an amazing loan. I mean, it might have been one of the best loans I ever wrote as far as the benefit for what it did for this couple and their situation. And I remember the guy called me, and this was maybe 3 or 4 days a week, something like that, before closing. And he asked if I would cut my fee in half. And I was like, no, I've done a lot of work. It's been several weeks of negotiating with the underwriter. These are all the benefits that you're getting for the loan. So no, like I've earned the fee that I've set. And he asked to speak to the manager. So I went into the manager's desk. His name is Randy. Was still one of my favorite people. Randy passed away a couple of years ago, but one of my most favorite people I've ever worked with, and learned a lot from that guy. And Randy said, yeah, I'll talk to him, but I want you to sit there and listen to the conversation. So Randy had a conversation, and he ended up telling the guy, hey, Dale's price is really fair. In fact, I think he's undercharging you. So if you want me to take over the deal, because that was what the guy had asked for, because I wouldn't cut the price. He's like, if you want me to take over the deal, my fee is going to be double because my time is worth more. No offense. And I remember that conversation, and the guy eventually backed off, and we closed the loan, and the fee stuck and all of that. But I remember Randy told me this nugget, and it's the people who demand to pay you the least are the ones who will put the greatest demands on your time. And it's so true. People who pay less want more. And so sticking to your price is vital. You set it for a reason. It's not a random number. You spend a lot of time thinking about it, trying to figure out where the market is, trying to figure out what you can charge, trying to figure out how to find the balance between the demand and your profit margin needs and your pricing wants and your revenue goals and things like that. And if you shave down your price just to close the deal, you're telling that client and every single client they refer that your price is negotiable. Now, there are some times in certain markets, especially in retail, where it makes sense to do holiday sales or weekend sales or things like that. Or sometimes you might have stagnant inventory and it makes sense to discount the inventory that's old or or just kind of sitting around collecting dust, or that it's obsolete, things like that. It can make sense to do that, but just on the regular, everyday things that you do, everyday service that you provide, that expertise is worth something. So when margin shrinks, your team has to work harder for less. And suddenly you built a business where you resent the very customers that you've worked so hard to get. And you resent them because they pushed for something and you allowed it to happen. And nobody wins. So you feel bad about the customers, you feel bad about the pricing, you feel bad about your role and how you got there. It's just not a great place to be. So pro tip, if somebody pushes back on your price, don't automatically slash your rate. Instead, look for ways that you can reduce the scope of work. You can pull things out. You can pull out parts of service. You can ignore certain things. That way, you're protecting your value and the value of your company, and also your sanity, and also the relationships that you want to be building with your customers. So pricing, number one, stick to your guns. It's very important. Don't jump to cutting your rate just because somebody asks for a discount or demands a discount. There's definitely some negotiation room there, and that negotiation should start with what you offer. All right. Number 2, ways to stick to your guns in business, your values. It's your compass when things get chaotic. So your values are your business's guardrails. They're not just something that goes on like a mission statement or on your website or on the wall of your company. They are truly what your company represents. They set the tone for your culture. They help customers understand what it will mean to do business with you. And really, the whole thing about your values is it helps you make decisions when things get a little murky or complicated or hard. So at Life Moves Wealth, for new clients, we work through an exercise the first few meetings to help me understand what the client values about how they intersect money, how they work with money, why they work for money, what that means to them, how they want to carry themselves in public, what they value as a couple or as a family. Those things are very important because, and I document them because it helps me understand how to help them be accountable to what they say is more important. So if they say that family and adventures and quality time is more important or most important, I might have questions when they're making a decision that doesn't feed that goal or doesn't meet that value. And so it just helps us stay true north on our compass when things get hard. So the values that you hold as a company tell you who you want to work with, what kind of projects you want to take, and most importantly, when it's time to walk from something that's not profitable, either in monetary terms or in relationship terms. So if you waver here, you might get short-term wins, but it's going to leave a bad taste. If you compromise what you value to close a deal or to get a big prospect, you're going to start rationalizing choices that don't sit right, and you're going to feel it. And before you know it, you've drifted into the kind of business that you don't recognize or even like, and it may even bring people into your business that you don't want to be associated with. So pro tip here, if a deal forces you to act against what you value, or a decision forces you, or you feel like a decision is taking you down a road that doesn't align with what you value, it's not a good deal. No matter how many zeros it adds to the bank account, you're probably going to regret it. Don't do it. Don't compromise your values. It's the most important thing in your business. I know pricing was the first thing I talked about, but values, why you exist, what you intend to do, how you want to be perceived by the marketplace, do not compromise on your values. All right, the third way to stick to your guns in business is with your integrity, because reputation is a long game. So in addition to your values, integrity is the currency that you build your business on. You can't print more of it. You have to earn every single bit of it. It cannot be manufactured. You can recover from financial losses or a bad decision with money, or a bad decision with an employee or with a product or something like that. But if people decide that you can't be trusted, or your business can't be trusted, or your people can't be trusted, it's almost game over, because the market has a long memory. People talk. In fact, you may notice this. You are likely to find more negative reviews, or people are quicker to give a negative review than they are to give a positive review. Why? Because we think we're protecting other people if we had a bad experience. So if we have a bad experience, we're going to go on immediately and tell other people because we want everybody else to know. But if we have a great experience, we're going to be like, yeah, maybe I'll get around to leaving a review. Yeah, you guys are awesome, whatever. People talk faster about bad experiences than they do about good ones. And so it's the same. You might get a quick payday. You might, gain business that you've been seeking, but you will pay it back in other opportunities that get lost, damaged reputation, damaged relationships, and constant second guessing from clients and partners. So the pro tip here is always take the hit now to save reputation rather than take the hit later. That's integrity. So when you mess up, own it. If you make a mistake for a client, call them, tell them. Don't wait till they find out, or don't wait until hopefully they don't find out that you made a mistake. Just call them. I made the mistake. This was my misunderstanding. I had to do this recently. It was very painful. It like feels yucky to have to admit it, but it feels awesome when the client is like, you know what? I appreciate that you brought this to my attention. I understand what happened. It's disappointing, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. Whatever. Own the mistake. It's so important. Do this in every relationship, not just in business. Do it in your marriage. Do it with your kids. I had to do a lot of that with our kids because I sometimes can have a fast reaction to things. Sometimes, most of the time, can have a fast reaction to things, if I'm being honest. And sometimes I have to come back and say, you know what? I didn't handle that correctly. I am sorry. Let's revisit. Let me try again. Let me say this differently. Whatever it is, just own it. It's all about how you carry yourself in the world and what people think about you and your integrity. It takes years and years and years to build, and it takes seconds to destroy, and it's incredibly hard to regain. So don't compromise. Don't cave on the things that make your integrity impeccable. All right. The fourth way that you can stick to your guns in business. It's so funny. Like I started going down like this Western theme with this topic, and I was going to wear my Western hat today. I've got my boots on, so I'm close, but yeah, let's stick into our guns, pushing up daisies, whatever. So here we go. The number 4 way, contract terms. They are there to protect you. Your contract terms are not just a formality. They're not just a legal document that you have to have for compliance reasons, or because the lawyer said you needed them, or because the bank asked for some sort of contract. They are the shield that protects you and your business when things get messy. So contracts set expectations, they set boundaries, and really what they're intended to do is keep both sides accountable to what it is that you're trying to do in the first place. So your sales contract, your bill of sale, your scope of work document, your proposal, your contract, all of those things, the terms that are in there are there for both sides of the transaction. They're not just for you, the business, and they're not just for the customer or the client who's going to be accepting the work and the proposal that you're putting out. If you change terms just to please somebody or just to get the sale, then what you've done is you've told them that you're okay with making exceptions or being the exception or ignoring terms in your contract. And that is always, always going to come back and bite you right in the ass. And did I just say I wasn't going to swear on the podcast? Well, there you go. It will bite you in the ass every single time that you ignore parts of your contract, or you X things out, or you initial changes, things like that, because those terms, when it comes to the legality of your document, if something goes to arbitration, or even further, it goes to litigation, those terms are what give you some ground to protect your business and save your reputation, save your pricing, right? Maintain your values, but also honor what you say you're going to do and what's important in your business about what you're doing. And that's in your contract. So if you waver on your terms, you need to prepare for scope creep, which is where the scope of work and the things that you're willing to do and can do and are capable of doing may change. And because you've given up on or ignored part of your contract, if you have a client who is willing to take advantage of that, they may start changing terms, and then you don't have any ability to say no or to decline because you've already given up on part of your terms over here. So they're going to expect you to give up on your terms over there to get what they want. And it really, really becomes an issue. Now, that can also be turned around where you can be taking advantage of the client because they've allowed you to change the terms. And it's not a win-win for anybody. So don't do it. Not only a scope creep, but also delayed payments. You can have just one more thing, just one more thing, just one more thing. Or, in some trades and some services, you'll have a punch list, and that punch list can just keep going and keep going, keep going. Or in retail, you could have somebody who, you give in here, and then they want this, and then they want this, and then they want this, and it just feels like it's never ending, and all you want is to be rid of this person, and it's all because you caved on your terms. And so once you give ground, it's almost impossible to reclaim it. So a pro tip here: be flexible in how you deliver, but not in the core protections that your business relies on. So be very careful that you're not violating your own contract. It can really, really be problematic for you and for the business and for the client and for the reputation that goes out past that. Number 5, this is the 5th way that you stick to your guns in business, and that's with your time. And this one is incredibly important because sometimes it's easy for us to forget the value of our time. And so we go down these rabbit holes for people. We do all this research. We drive further than we normally would just to please somebody or get someone off our back or whatever. And really, when we give that kind of time, it prevents us from being able to do things that are of higher value. So a great example is I currently have, at Life Moves Wealth, currently have a couple of investment product salespeople. We call them wholesalers in this business. And they want, hey, this is our mutual fund. This is our ETF. I want to get coffee and tell you all about it. I want to, let's go to a happy hour. Let's go to lunch. I want to learn about your practice and your clients, and I want to talk to you about this fund. Well, I have a very protected and specific and guarded and evidence-based investment discipline that's written, it's monitored. I don't do a lot of trading. I don't move things in and out very quickly. So it's not a great use of my time to go spend, the half hour to drive somewhere, the hour to talk about this thing, the half hour to drive back. There's 2 hours out of the day for something I'm probably not going to do anything with anyway. And so not only is it not the best use of my time, it's not the best use of their time. And so usually what I say is, hey, I would love to see anything that you want to send. I will read it. I will happily ask questions about it. If it's something I feel that would benefit clients or that would help the investment process or that would be beneficial for me to use, I would love to then set a meeting because I want to understand how to implement this strategy, discipline, whatever into my practice. In the meantime, please, instead of me tying up your calendar, keep, prospecting, go find somebody who's ready to buy, or maybe has a lot more money that they can give to you, because this is how it operates. And so it's just pretty much like, hey, I know there's a lot of financial advisors who love the free lunches. I've seen this too many times. They love the free lunches, and they go to the steak dinners and they do nothing. They just go for the free meal, and then, they don't buy from that person. I don't want to be that guy in the world. So I'd say, hey, look, save your time, save your money for somebody who's higher value than me. Just send me whatever you want me to look at. And people don't understand this. They get like offended. They're like, what do you mean you don't want to meet with me? And I get it. But I've got to protect my time. So, and time is the only asset that you can't earn back. So you got to protect it for yourself. Sometimes you have to help people protect it for themselves. Overcommitting to things ties up your calendar. It's the fastest way to choke your business's growth. When you say yes too often, you're going to be buried. You're going to get behind. You're going to miss an important phone call. You're going to delay responding to an email that moves your business forward. You're going to miss timing opportunity with a great prospective client. You're going to get buried in low value stuff. It's going to take away time from working on higher value things. And in episode 95, I talked about this. I talked about your yes is strengthened by what you're willing to say no to, right? So you say yes to less things, no to more things, and it's going to make the things that you're working on much, much higher value. If you waver here, you're going to become the bottleneck in your own business and in your company. Your clients are going to feel it. Your best clients are going to get less attention. Your business is going to feel like an endless hamster wheel. You're going to work long, long, long days, and it's going to feel like this machine that is out of your control. So a pro tip here is guard your calendar like your life depends on it, because it does. And the right no can be more productive and more profitable than the wrong yes. So do not feel bad about pushing off a meeting that's not important, or scheduling it to a later time, or shifting a lunch meeting or a coffee meeting to a quick phone call or a short virtual call or something like that. You don't have to tie up your calendar for things that aren't going to move your needle forward, or possibly even if you're being altruistic about it, if you say, I am not someone who's going to move your needle forward, let me give you back this time. Let me save you the time. That feels good to me, but again, people don't get it, because they're like, wait, what do you mean? So protect your time, protect your calendar, protect your clients, protect your best work. Be willing to say no to things that just are lower value. And you'll know, and again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to sound harsh when I say lower value, higher value, but you know exactly what I mean by things that are lower value and things that are higher value. So I think we all get that. Okay, so this has been kind of a quick, to the point episode. Let me go through the 5 ways to stick to your guns in business one more time. Number 1 way to stick to your guns in business is pricing. You set your pricing for a reason. Don't be quick to give it up. Number 2, stick to your guns by holding your values. They are your compass when things are chaotic, when things are messy, when you need to do a gut check on where things are. Number 3 way to stick to your guns in business is with your integrity. Your reputation matters more than anything. It takes years and years to build it, seconds to lose it. Guard it. The number 4 way to stick to your guns in business is with your contract terms. They are there to protect you. They are there to protect your clients. Don't be willing to X out things in your contract just to close a sale. And the number 5 way that you stick to your guns in business is with your time. It's your most limited asset. It's your most valuable asset. And it's the quickest way to either help or harm your company. Be willing to say no to more things. Be willing to say yes to the right things. Okay, final thoughts on this. When you cave on what matters most, you're not just making a small compromise. You're teaching your business and everyone in it how low the bar can go. Think about it that way. You're teaching your business and everyone in it and everyone around it how low the bar can go. Standing firm might mean you're going to lose a client or lose an opportunity or lose a sale, but it will never mean losing yourself or your business's foundation or the things that make your business great. Doesn't matter how many zeros in the bank account if no one can trust you. If you want your business to be great, stand on your pricing and your values and your contract terms and your time. And also the one I forgot, which is your integrity. I kind of lumped that into values. So again, stick to your pricing, stick to your values, stick to your integrity, stick to your contract terms, manage your time well. Compromise does have its place. There is room for negotiation, but negotiation doesn't mean that you have to put your business at harm just to close a sale. You don't want to erode your foundation just to get business from people. Stand firm in these 5 areas. You'll attract the right clients, the right employees, the right partners. You'll build a stronger reputation, and you'll run the type of business that you actually want to own. Now, as I close this, I'll tie this in here. At Life Moves Wealth, this is all part of the work that we do with business owners as part of the BOSS method. Part of the BOSS method is understanding the risks in your business. And part of the risks in your business are, what are the areas where you are caving on things like pricing and maybe what you value and your integrity and your time and your contract terms and things like that? Do we need to rewrite some of these things? Do we need to strengthen your operating agreements? Do we need to bring in an attorney to help us rewrite parts of these agreements so that they make sense for you, for the business, for the partners? And we want to do those things when everybody likes each other, because it's easier for everybody to be considered when we like each other. When we're mad at each other or things are going sideways, it's much, much harder to write legal agreements because everybody is now out for themselves. They're not thinking holistically about the entity or the partnership or the clients or the customers. When we're upset, it doesn't matter. We want what we want, and we want the most that we can get. So the BOSS method helps us help business owners run great businesses that help them stick to their guns, especially in these 5 areas. Run businesses that they like, run businesses that are profitable, run businesses that other people want to eventually acquire from them because it's an asset that has value, that brings revenue, that has profit, that has a good reputation in the community, that has the type of situation and culture and structure that people want to be part of. And so we're going to help you do that. It's through financial planning, but through the BOSS method and how we explore not only how the business impacts your personal life, but how the business impacts everything else around you and around the community and around your employees. So if you have questions, if you're a business owner, you want to know what this means, you need some help sticking to your guns, you want to think about your business the right way, profitably, understand where you stand financially, understand how you can make it better, please reach out. Send an email to info@lifemoveswealth.com. Go to lifemoveswealth.com and click the schedule time with me button. I'd love to talk with you and introduce you to the BOSS method and help you understand how we can help your business be the best that it can be, because good is the enemy of great if you're a Jim Collins guy. And so let's make the business great. And that's what I have for you. So stick to your guns, run a better business. And until next time, go be a boss. Take care. See ya. Thanks for listening to this episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. To learn more about your financial purpose, visit lifemoveswealth.com.